In this recording, we're going to go through the steps required to do dynamic zone visibility so that you can reuse the same space on a dashboard using something clever like these little icons to switch out the chart that is being shown. First things first, we're going to build some charts. Now, in the dashboard that I'm sharing, you're going to also see that I have provided 2 tabs in the back that are giving a summary of the steps required. And so you can use this for reference for later. All right, so let's get building those worksheets. Map's going to be first. We're going to speed this up a little bit so that it can happen quickly for us. We're going to do a map of profitability by state and province. Next, we're going to build a line chart. We're going to be looking at years, months of order date, and looking at sales. The bar chart is next. We're going to be looking at all the customers, ranking them by their sales. Providing a little interest with the continuous application of color to give us that nice sequential presentation, matching the mark type so we get some nice attractive labels. Next, we have a scatter chart. We're going to contrast sales and profits, divide it up by the customer, switch out the rows and columns to change the orientation of the axis, put profit margin on the color, give it a little bit of definition, increase the size, and we have our scatter. We want it to change the entire view so it fits into our dashboard nicely. Heat map is next. This heat map, we're going to be contrasting the months by the days of the week. We'll go to the entire view and we'll bring profit onto the squares to give us that indication of peaks and valleys with our profit. Next, we're going to do a crosstab table looking at the subcategories. We're going to look at the performance, quarterly performance over the years. So we have a good reference table here. We're going to hide those field row labels. Go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup on the formatting, including giving it some row banding to make it a little easier to read. We're going to create the parameter first. And this is what's going to be the controller for us to select, our users to select which chart they want to see. I'm going to make it a string data type, give it a list, and fill in the list with the names of my charts. And save that. And show the parameter control. So the device is there and available for use. Next, I need to create a calculated field for each of the different charts where it's going to be just a statement of when the chart type parameter contains a certain label. We need one of those for each of our charts. So there was map, now this is line. Next on deck is going to be our bar chart. Just checking to see when the parameter contains the word that is the keyword for that item. Shortcut would be to right-click on the chart type parameter name and use create and calculated field. That's a little faster way to get into this dialog. Doing our heat map. We have one to go. Just double checking that we have all 6, and we do. So now we're ready to move on to making our buttons. It's actually going to be essentially dummy variables where we do a double slash, which is like comment code, hit return, control enter to get to the next level, and then we put a 0. So I'm doing a control click copy of each of these and then giving them the new name so that I have one for each of the charts. All right, you'll see that they're appearing on my worksheet. Each one of them has a separated marks card. I'm going to change the mark type to shape. And then I can go through them and make a custom assignment of the shape that's being used for each one of the dummy variables. So for map, I have a clever little map symbol. Keep in mind that you can load custom shapes into the shape directory. PNGs and JPEGs work very well, in addition to the ones that are pre-stored there as you download desktop. On to assigning scatter plots. I found a couple of cute ones. And for heat map, I never did find a new one that I was really thrilled with, so I'm going to end up using the sunshine because, you know, heat map, right? So that's you can do something that is logical or something that is clever. Hopefully both. Okay, so now we need to bring measure names onto the labels so we have that connection for the titling of each of these objects with what's going to show up in our parameter selection as well. I unchecked show header, doing a little cleanup here with our 0 lines, our grid lines. Now we're going to select all of these and move them to the, or not move, we're going to make a copy and put it into the data pane so that they are also stored variables there. All right, so over to the dashboard. We're using containers for one for the buttons and a separate one for the worksheets. I move the chart type parameter to the header just so that I can keep an eye on it, use it more like an audit here. Have my buttons fit the entire view. Then I'm going to layer into this lower container all of the worksheets that are going to be referenced in that lower section. So going over to make that assignment, you can see that the container contains all of them. I'm verifying that. Sometimes they tend to want to slip out, so you want to make sure that they all are contained by that container. And then go in one by one and assign your boolean value of show line, show map to the corresponding chart. And as you select ones that are not what is currently being selected by your chart type parameter, they should disappear. Okay, so only the one that is currently the corresponding value for the chart type parameter should show up, but you can audit it, make sure that we're in good shape by changing the parameter that's on screen. We presently don't have that connection made to the buttons, but that's coming next. You want to check each step as you go. So next we want to make those connections to the icons that we've selected to be buttons, and you want to go to the dashboard actions, look at on this sheet and change parameter value using what is being selected on the worksheet that's called buttons. So deselect the others because we want to have that be our originating controller. We're going to use the target parameter of chart type parameter. And we're going to use in the source field measure names, and that's going to take it back to that connection that we made on all the labels for each of the individual shapes, specialty shapes we assigned back on that worksheet. Now we're going to call this parameter action to update the chart selection. Say okay and okay, and we will test it, go into presentation mode, and there you have it. As you make the different choices, click on the different shapes, the corresponding chart will be selected.